You know, I remember the first time I went to a 2.5 mile track. It's Talladega, and you hold it wide open. I was working at my dad's dealership changing oil. He owned this Chevy store in Newton, North Carolina, and the phone rang, and he said my dad was on the other end, and he was in Talladega for a test, and he said, get your helmet and your suit and meet me at the racetrack the next day. You're going to fly in the King Air to the track. Don't ask questions, just do it. And so I got there, and I knew I was going to Talladega, and I thought, man, I must be driving. This is going to be crazy. I'm going to go around this 2.5 mile track full speed at 190 miles an hour. I never went faster than 90 or 95 on a racetrack before. Never drove anything bigger than a half mile. And I pulled out. I got there. He's like, "You're gonna test this car. Get in. Get ready." He puts me in there, and he's like, "You got to hold it wide open. If you don't hold it wide open, the motor's not gonna work. It'll hurt the motor. You got to hold it. The way they tune the motor to run wide open, it has to run it. It has to run at full throttle. If you try to go around there at half throttle to burn the pistons, it'll run too lean.
Wow.
All those things." So he was saying that, and I thought to myself, is he just telling me that just to make sure I hold it wide open because he thought I would be a pussy and not do it? And so I was like, man, I'm a little nervous to hold it wide open, but I pulled out on the track and I mashed the gas full throttle, and I'm going down the back straightaway, and I was like, I'm looking down the back straightaway into the next corner, this long corner, and I'm like, how's it gonna stick? How's the car not gonna fly out of the racetrack? I'm going so fast, it doesn't feel like it's going to stay in the track. And I kept running that through my head about my dad saying I got to hold it wide open. I'm like, well, Dad said it'll go wide open around here, so I don't think he would. I believe everything he says. And you go in the corner and you turn into the corner, and there is more grip than you can imagine. There's so much grip. The car is stuck to the track with such grip that you've never felt this before in your life. This grip, like you can't slide across that track. The tires in the car a hold of the track so tough and tight that nothing's gonna make it. It just goes around there like it's the craziest thing. And so now today, when I tell people, we got this 2-seater car and we take people for rides, and they get in there, and I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? What are you gonna do to explain to somebody what this is gonna feel like? Well, I'm gonna tell you things to pay attention to. Pay attention to the grip. You're not gonna believe how much grip this car has. You're just not gonna believe that it'll stick to the track the way it does. So pay attention to that, and pay attention to how bumpy and violent it is. You drive a Cadillac or any car down the street. Well, it's 6-8 inches off the ground, these big old inflated tires and big giant sidewalls, and it's gonna feel nice, when it hits little bumps. Our cars are rigid and suck to the ground and don't have much travel in the suspension, and it's built to go fast, not to feel good, and it's rough as hell and shakes the hell out of you. And that's what I remember about that. And as soon as I got over that initial fear, I think that was the only time I ever had any real fear of driving a car. As soon as I was like, well, all right, nothing else is going to be as scary as that was, right? Driving a car. And I mean, flipping, and when I flipped for the first time, and the car's tumbling and flying, parts flying off the air, I thought to myself that I wasn't scared, or I never was scared of flipping. My thought was, I just did something a lot of people are never going to experience. I did something that only a few people know what that's like. And I feel safe. I've always felt incredibly safe inside the car. Especially in the last 20 years, the safety stuff has really been focused on and improved and better and better and better. But I look at the interior of our cars today versus 20 years ago, and I can't believe some of the stuff that we used to climb into. But
so you felt calm while it was flipping?
Oh yeah. I've seen cars flip, right? I've seen it for years, right? And so I know it's possible. So I get in there, and I got turned around at a race in 1998. I was racing at Daytona, and I got turned around, and the car, so I'm flipping for the first time in my life, and this car's like over 3,000 pounds, so it's but it flies up in the air like it's paper, man. It's the craziest thing in the world. It's so weightless, And what it felt like to me, so the car rolled on its side and came down kind of on its side. It felt like somebody rolled a prop wall of grass up against the car. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When I was on my side and I could see the ground, I felt like I was right side up, because as you're flipping, the force pushes you down in the seat. So you feel gravity all the time. Like as the car's flipping, you're pushed into the seat. So you feel weight of yourself in the seat. That never changes. You never kind of come up out of the seat like that, And so it's like somebody rolled a prop wall of grass up against the side of the car, and then against the roof, and then against that side, and then this, it kept doing that. And I'm like, it's just the weirdest feeling. And you feel completely safe.
Wow.
You feel like, nothing's going to harm me. One of the things they always talk about is like, get your hands onto something, because the spinning makes your arms just go like this. And if you watch a lot of old wrecks from the 60s and 70s, you'll see the guy's arms come flying out the window, and they're just kind of flopping around. They can't pull it. It's spinning so fast, you can't pull it in. And your arms will go like that. So as soon as you're going upside down, you grab the bottom of the steering wheel and just kind of, watch. But I flipped my pickup truck one time on Christmas Day, and I wasn't holding on the steering wheel, and my arm went out the window. For like a split second, it banged around in the window sill, and I was like, man, I got it back in and grabbed a hold of the steering wheel with both my hands, and so ever since then, I've now I know, like anytime I'm in a crash, you got to have your hands a hold of something, because that's the one thing that you can't control. You're strapped in with your seatbelt and everything, but your arms are, can go anywhere, and in that moment when the car is rolling or barrel rolling or flipping, it's so fast, like your arms just go this way.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing in the world. That's the only fear, I guess, is that your arm could get outside the window and get crushed or something, because the guys have had that happen.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah.
How'd you flip when you were on Christmas?
On Christmas Day, my sister, she knows this, so this won't be news to her, but it's probably not fun for her to hear every time I tell it, but I had a pickup truck with the tape deck in it, and she got me that Walkman CD with the adapter for the tape deck that you stick into your cassette adapter. And she bought me the Walkman cassette adapter, and I'm in my truck. I got an extended cab S10. I'm driving from my house to my mama's house, where family reunion is. My dad's there, everybody's there, the whole family's there. I'm a little late, and I'm driving down the road. And I got to messing with that Walkman, and I drove off into the ditch, and I hit a driveway culvert, drainage pipe in a driveway, and went like 7 flips and destroyed this truck. And in the middle of the flipping, I remember that happening. And everything, all my change, jacket, anything that was loose in the car ended up down in the one corner, like floorboard. Everything sort of collects into that one corner as it's spinning. And it crushed the windshield down, the mirror was down into the radio, it crushed the roof down real bad. I was really lucky. I had my hands on top of the steering wheel, and the windshield kept slapping my knuckles and busted all my knuckles real bad. And so then I let go, and my hands went this way, and then I finally got them back in and grabbed the bottom of the steering wheel. It broke. The tires were broken and busted off the truck, and I got out of the truck. And I was fine, didn't have any injuries other than just the knuckles kind of being scraped up. This newly married couple, they just either got engaged or just got married, were driving the other way and saw the whole thing. And they stopped. And they were like, "You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And, of course, there's this line of cars behind me stopped on the road. And this one lady pulls up, and I was like, "I need to borrow your cell phone to call my dad." She's like, "You're in shock. You need to sit down." I was like, "No, I'm not in shock. I just need to borrow your cell phone." So I walked to the next car, and I got a cell phone from this person. I called my dad, and I was like, "Dad," "Man, I flipped my truck. I'd financed this thing for 5 years. I was paying $100 a month. It's perfect. I was working at the dealership changing oil, probably making $130 a week, and just got this truck for probably 2-3 months, and used truck, but it was good." It's junk. I called Dad, and I'm like, man, he's going to be mad. Can't be too mad because I'm paying for the truck, but he's going to be mad at me because I'm screwing up family reunion and Christmas. He comes to get me. I'd flipped this truck real close to where our farm was, so he ran over to the farm and got this flatbed truck, and he pulls out there with the flatbed truck. And he pulls up, and as soon as he pulls up, a state trooper pulls up. And the state trooper guy and Dad talked for a minute, and the state trooper's like, one single car accident, you okay? Yeah, everybody's okay. Dad, are you gonna put this on the flatbed, take it home? Yeah, okay. I ain't gonna investigate or anything. Everything's cool. Y'all just go about your business. So he left. So he did us a solid there, and didn't give me any kind of traffic ticket. And so me and Dad put the truck on the flatbed, and we're driving back, and he started laughing. And I was like, man, I expected you to be really mad, because he was a fiery kind of dad, and pull the belt out and go to town. He was a rough, strict, tough dude. And so I thought I was going to get a good cussing at least, but he started laughing. And I said, man, what's so funny? And he goes, I was 18 when this happened. He goes, when I was 18 years old, I flipped my car. He's like, I can't get mad. He's like, I'm just glad you're not hurt. I'm like, well, that's nice. So we drove back. I took a couple pictures of it, and got insurance for it. Got like 11, 12 grand for the insurance to be able to buy another truck.
So it all worked out.
Yeah.
So that was the first time you ever flipped something, or did you flip the race car first?
That was the first time.
That was the first time.
No, the race car was next.
So the race car is like, oh, I've been here before.
Yes. Yeah. And it's nothing. In the race car, it's not as bad as a passenger car. You only got that strap.
Right.
You're moving around and banging around in there, and in the race car, you're in there pretty tight.